A criminal investigation is confirmed at City Hall as the province brings in new code of conduct rules.
It's pretty ridiculous that the provincial government took it away originally.
What the new standards mean for municipal officials province-wide. Plus, police push for 0 lives lost on Calgary roads.
His bike sits in my home untouched, never to be ridden again.
A new initiative as crashes and fatalities hit a 10-year high. And building up some steam.
We are trying to create a national movement, and that national movement is all geared towards bridging the gender gap in technology.
Focusing girls on science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. Alberta is set to move forward with a new province-wide code of conduct for municipal politicians. It comes after the government banned communities from having their own rules. It also comes amid an RCMP investigation at Calgary City Hall. That's where we find our Jordan Canagan tonight. Jordan, the minister confirms the investigation is criminal.
Now, Tara, the new Universal Code of Conduct has been in the works for months, but the announcement of it coming just days after 3 current and former members of Calgary Council had their devices seized by RCMP. And Municipal Affairs Minister Dan Williams says he was not made aware of that complaint prior to it becoming public in the news this week, but he says that it is a criminal investigation and therefore it's proper that RCMP is going to handle it. When it comes to any future complaints of misconduct or bad behavior involving municipal officials, soon there will likely be a new way to handle it provincially. The province is proposing a new way to keep municipal councils responsible.
The Councillor Accountability Framework allows local municipal leaders to be able to hold their colleagues accountable. There's an independent review and an independent appeal process.
If passed, all Alberta municipalities would fall under the same code of conduct. It'll be for complaints against council members about misconduct, bad behavior, misuse of influence, and allegations of financial impropriety. Complaints would be looked at by a third party appointed by the province.
We absolutely should have a code of conduct, and it's pretty ridiculous that the provincial government took it away originally.
Last spring, the province amending rules to prohibit municipalities from implementing their own codes of conduct. In Calgary, it meant the city no longer had an integrity commissioner and ethics advisor.
Nobody's missing the old code of conduct rules that we had at City Hall because they were abused, quite frankly. They were used too often. They took up a tremendous amount of time for councillors' offices, batting down useless and frivolous complaints.
The proposed rules come a week after RCMP seized cell phones belonging to current councillor Andre Chabot, former Mayor Jody Gondek, and former councillor Sean Chu, following on a complaint to Calgary Police last fall.
The nature of this complaint, Jason, as far as I understand, is criminal in nature. Accusations of fraud and corruption. As such, the appropriate body for that is the police of jurisdiction.
Williams says the most serious allegations and complaints in the future will still go through law enforcement and the courts. Jordan Cadigan, CTV News, Calgary.
When the legislation passes, new regulations could be in place by the end of this year. The new framework would also establish a sunshine list to publicly disclose the salaries of municipal officials. Calgary police are continuing to investigate after a serious assault in the southeast community of Ogden, sending one man to hospital last night in life-threatening condition. Mark Villani is back at that scene tonight in the 2300 block of Crestwood Road. So, Mark, what are you hearing from people who live nearby?
Well, Tara, several people here tell us that they're not exactly surprised by what happened. Many people say that this home behind me is the site of frequent police calls with people coming and going at all hours of the day, and many wondering exactly what could be going on inside. Now, investigators haven't said exactly what led up to this fight or how many people were involved, but no suspects are in custody, and the search for anybody that could be responsible is ongoing. It's a quiet and dark-looking street, but a light from this window remains on as officers hold the scene. Police say a fight occurred inside this home around 9 o'clock Wednesday night, startling some neighbors who woke up to the sound of sirens.
Lots of police, and the ambulance pulled up, and we just heard one of the policemen come out and told them to get in there because the guy wasn't breathing. And so they went rushing in.
Officers responded to the house on the 2300 block of Crestwood Road. It's here where one man was rushed to hospital in life-threatening condition. The search for suspects is ongoing as the CPS homicide unit takes over the case.
It's not surprising, unfortunately, to see police here, which is sad, because they've been here a lot. We phoned them a lot. Everybody's phoned them because it's just always something bad going on.
Police are calling this domestic in nature, but haven't clarified what that means for a relationship between the individuals involved in this assault. Kimberly Buchan lives a few doors down. She says people are often seen coming and going from this home.
Well, we've noticed more transients because, as you can tell from across the way, there's more houses being fenced off. So they're going into these houses, so we have an issue with that in the community.
Meanwhile, others are raising concerns about possible drug activity.
It's like a flop house, basically. There's always trouble there. Fighting or drugs or criminal activity, you name it.
And while investigators continue to search for leads, those living nearby remain on edge, concerned for their safety.
So we stay inside and we go out during the day, but nighttime we don't leave the house too often because you don't know what's going to happen.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Anyone with information is asked to contact the Calgary Police non-emergency line. Tips can also be provided anonymously through Crime Stoppers. Police want to know if you recognize the suspects in a Calgary shooting that happened in the community of Taradale last August. One suspect appears to be a woman with a slim build. The other appears to be a man. Both were in dark-colored sweatshirts. On August 8th, two people got out of a black truck and fired multiple rounds at two men outside a home along Tarawood Grove Northeast. The victims were taken to hospital in life-threatening condition, but they have since been upgraded to stable. Anyone with information on the case should contact police. 7 people are facing a total of 221 charges in connection to a string of shopliftings at several businesses in the Calgary area. Investigators accuse the group of working together in a series of robberies of 73 Ace Liquor and TJX Canada stores. They happened between March and October of last year, costing the businesses more than $96,000. An 8-month investigation between CPS, RCMP, and Lethbridge Police led to numerous theft, robbery, and weapons-related charges against the 7 men and women. 1 person has been arrested. Police are still trying to locate the others. As Calgary drives toward a grim new record, city officials and police are begging drivers to pay attention on the road. The number of traffic collisions and fatalities is way up so far in 2026, and a lot of the issues are being traced back to speed and cell phones. As Tim Brooke explains, there is an easy fix.
Chelsea Meza says June 1st, 2020 marked the beginning of the worst chapter of her life.
I was at home making dinner for us, and Corey was on his way home from work on his bike, as he did every day.
Chelsea's husband, Corey, was cycling through this intersection along McLeod Trail. Despite having the right of way, he was struck by a car.
Instead of eating dinner together on our couch, Corey fought for his life at the Foothills Hospital, and I spent the evening talking to doctors. Corey
died 3 days later. Unfortunately, it's a story that's not uncommon.
I know a lot of people think themselves that it'll never happen to them, but they've got to be aware of what they're doing when they're in the vehicle.
There have already been more than 5,000 collisions in the city this year. 8 people have been killed, including 3 pedestrians. That's a 10-year high.
We're trending in the wrong direction. We are 50% up on last year's fatalities.
An ongoing video campaign launched by the city and police is trying to show Calgarians the crashes didn't need to happen.
All that potential.
Despite the city making road improvements, speed and distracted driving are still causing problems.
There are infrastructure upgrades, so things like advanced turn arrows, curb extensions, and other geometric changes that we do on the network.
But more still needs to be done. So the message from Chelsea is a simple one. Slow down and look up.
Corey doesn't have a voice anymore. People who have been in these accidents, they can't speak for themselves, so I can speak for them.
Tim joins us now. Tim, the driver who hit Corey was charged.
Yes, Tara, following that crash, they were convicted of making an unsafe turn under the Traffic Safety Act. And really, that's another important thing to take note of for our viewers tonight here. Anyone who maybe doesn't want to change some of their bad driving habits to keep their fellow Calgarians safe, should know that if they're not changing those habits, if they're still driving unsafe, they could be facing in the future massive fines or sometimes, Tara, even jail time.
Okay, Tim, thank you. The Icefields Parkway between Lake Louise and Saskatchewan Crossing has reopened. Snow blocked the road while Parks Canada was doing avalanche control. It was meters deep. Crews have been working all week to clear this massive pile of snow near Mount Hector. The highway reopened this afternoon, but it is a single-lane alternating traffic situation near the slide. The Bearspaw feeder main will hit a milestone this weekend with this round of repairs reaching completion. It will take 2 to 3 days to gently pump 22 million litres of water back into the pipe. City administration says water usage went over the limit this week, but that could be because of a leaky valve found at the Shaganappi pump station. That has now been repaired, and another update from the city will come on Monday after the water is tested and everything appears ready. But restrictions are not being lifted yet as the pipe is still very vulnerable.
And then also the water quality testing. Sometimes that can take longer as we have to make sure that the water is safe to drink. We will always focus on safety over time.
Repaving in the area will start soon and lane closures will remain in effect next week. The city will let residents know what might happen if there is another break.
You're watching CTV News Calgary.
It has rarely been this difficult as it is now for young Canadians to find a job, and today thousands of them gathered in the hope of getting work. Teens and young adults streamed into the Big Four building for the city's annual Youth Hiring Fair. In February, Canada's youth unemployment rate rose to 14%. There is hope, though, for some young workers. Many of the jobs here are seasonal for the summer, and some employers plan to hire hundreds of people.
We hire a lot of youth. We have 24 sites here in Calgary alone, and then we have a bunch of more sites in Edmonton. We hired over 300 staff last year in the province of Alberta, so we try to hire just as many people as we possibly can, and we really try hard to make sure people get as many hours as they can too, because we know if you get a job and you work a week, that's not cool, so we really try to make sure we get as many hours for everyone as possible.
Youth unemployment in Alberta is slightly higher than the national average at 14.6%. There was also a job fair taking place in Banff today ahead of the busy summer rush. 32 employers took part in the Bow Valley Job Fair, looking to fill more than 600 vacancies across the region. Many businesses say it is difficult to fill positions. They're facing a Canada-wide shortage of tourism workers that is only exacerbated in the mountain community, due in large part to a lack of affordable housing.
I see a lot of people just show up to the Bow Valley and struggle to find both a place to live and a place to work.
Record numbers in every single sector of our business, on full capacity of the hotel in the entire week. More reservations coming up.
Many businesses at the fair offered seasonal work, while others had long-term opportunities available for those wanting to make the mountain community their permanent home. A popular Central Alberta tourist attraction has received a clean bill of health. An engineering report on Tyra, the Tyrannosaurus, says the Drumheller attraction is safe, stable, and ready to welcome visitors. The report says some repairs are needed, with an estimated cost of about $150,000. Ongoing maintenance costs will also be needed. The Drumheller Chamber of Commerce was going to dismantle the dino in 2029, but Tyra got a reprieve thanks to public outcry. The chamber says it welcomes funded proposals about how to keep Tyra from extinction beyond 2029. Okay, well, we saw a second wave of snow today, Danielle. Is there going to be a third wave of snow?
Yes, on the weekend, actually. We're in this pattern, this roller coaster ride of ups and downs every few days. We're getting some snowfall, and that pattern will continue for the rest of the month. -4 is the temperature. It feels more like -12. This cold weather will continue through tomorrow morning as well. And then we're basically looking at one afternoon of warmth before we drop again and another system arrives. All right, with the wind chill overnight, feeling more like -20 for tomorrow morning, feeling more like -13. But then these winds out of the south should push our temperature up to 7 degrees in the afternoon. Good amount of sunshine with some cloudy periods tomorrow. A nice day overall. We'll talk about that weekend system coming up, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Former Alberta Premier Jason Kenney plans to fight for Canada. Kenney will participate in 2 debates about separation, and he will be arguing why Alberta needs to stay put. And how a U.S. court finding Meta and YouTube liable for social media addiction could have far-reaching impacts in our country. We're back in 1 minute. The federal government is introducing legislation it says will lower the cost of building homes. The proposed $1.7 billion fund is intended to help provinces and territories reduce development fees or other levies on new housing to speed up construction. The money can also be used to reduce internal trade barriers, but it will be up to each province to decide how they will use the funds. A new report predicts an increase in the value of recreational properties in Alberta this year. The report from Royal LePage says recreational homes in our province will rise 2.5% this year. Last year, the median price of an Alberta recreational property was $860,000. Royal LePage says demand for homes near Banff National Park has remained steady. The report also says the Buy Canadian movement is affecting the recreational property market, with many Canadians planning to sell their properties in the U.S. A public meeting is happening tonight to discuss what should happen to the Bay building downtown. Heritage Calgary and the Calgary Downtown Association are hosting the meeting at the Hudson Event Centre. The Bay opened in 1913 and closed its doors for good last June. Last fall, the National Trust for Canada added the building to its endangered places list with a ranking of immediate threat. Despite that, it lacks specific heritage designation that would protect it from demolition. This week's landmark social media addiction trial in California is set to unleash a flood of lawsuits aimed at big tech. A jury found Meta and YouTube purposely designed their products to hook young users and awarded millions in damages to the 20-year-old plaintiff. Heather Wright has more on what's being described as a wake-up call for the industry.
A damning verdict with global implications. A Los Angeles jury ruling Wednesday that two of the world's most popular apps, Instagram and YouTube, are deliberately addictive, designed to hook young users and keep them scrolling. Experts are calling it a big tobacco moment for big tech.
The cigarette companies, it came out, targeted young people, knowing that that's how they got their lifetime customers. And virtually the identical documents have emerged from social media companies. They target adolescents because they know that their brains aren't fully developed.
Both Meta, which owns Facebook, and Instagram, as well as YouTube, have been ordered to pay $6 million US to the victim in this case, who says the platforms left her with body dysmorphia, depression, and suicidal thoughts. The companies plan to appeal, but the ruling is giving hope to those who have been pushing for change in how these companies operate.
We've been talking about for years the idea that consequences eventually catch up with everyone.
Frances Haugen is a former product manager at Facebook who blew the whistle on the company, saying it chooses profit over safety. With hundreds of similar cases working through the courts, Haugen says tech companies could ultimately be on the hook for billions of dollars.
I think it's going to be a wake-up call for tech companies that they need to think about their internal governance processes and make sure that they have the checks and balances in place, that they don't just go for the quick buck.
Among the lawsuits filed against tech companies is one here in Ontario, where several school boards have sued Meta, Snap, and TikTok, accusing the apps of being psychologically manipulative. While the U.S. verdict will not impact any litigation here, it is a sign, experts say, that the conversation is changing. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Well, Danielle, we didn't get quite as much snow in our second snow event as we did in the first, but overall, we got more than I think a lot of people were expecting.
Yeah, especially around the studio and areas to the north. Oh my goodness, we saw a lot of snowfall. In total, some isolated areas got up to 28 centimeters of the white stuff. So that's something. For sure. I just got these numbers from Environment and Climate Change Canada today to sum it up for you. Okay, Tuesday night through Wednesday morning, that first wave, we got anywhere from 3 centimeters, and you know who you are because you didn't really have to shovel, to 28 centimeters, to 20 centimeters. That's actually incorrect, to 20 centimeters. And then Wednesday night to Thursday morning, we got traced to 8 centimeters. So yes, in total 28 for some communities, which was a lot to shovel. Some people still working on it. Now we're going to continually get some melting, which will help you out. The heaviest amounts were in the north end because we basically had this narrow band of snowfall that just stayed in one space and created a lot of snow, but also almost blizzard-like conditions and zero visibility at times. All right, checking out temperatures. Not only did we get the snow, we've gotten the colder temperatures that are here to stay right through tomorrow morning, so be prepared for a cold start once again tomorrow as well before things warm up. And it's a pretty temporary warm up, to be honest, just one afternoon. -10 is what it feels like with the wind chill right now in the city. -11 in Pincher Creek and Claresholm and Medicine Hat. A little more reasonable in Lethbridge, winds a little calmer. -5 is what it feels like. So what are we looking at as we head into the weekend? Well, we have nice weather for tomorrow. We're going to get the sunshine. We're going to get the warmer temperatures, but it's kind of like a tease because by the weekend, temperatures are going to fall once again, and we have the next snow system on the way. We still have a little bit of snowfall right along the mountains, but this is all really dying out for the day. As we go through tonight, the clouds will continually clear out. So for tomorrow in all of southern Alberta, mainly sunny skies with some cloudy periods at times. On Saturday, if you check out your timestamp here, by the time we get into Saturday, the clouds will really start to move back in as this next system approaches. The winds will pick up a little bit as well. We're going to get the snow moving down the mountains, and we may even see a few flurries Saturday evening creep into the city. Smaller chance of that, greater chance that late night we'll start to see that snowfall, and it will actually get pretty intense at times even into Sunday morning, which is why we are looking at another decent amount, enough to have to shovel. All right, 7 degrees is our high for tomorrow, but again, keep in mind in the morning a wind chill of -16 at 8 a.m. So it's a cold start. -1 will be our high on Saturday. More cloud cover, as I showed you, will start to creep in. And then late Saturday in through Sunday, we're looking at snowfall, 3 to 6 centimeters certainly possible. By Sunday, our high is -4. Monday, -5. So that's a cool stretch for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast.
Alberta's Elections Boundaries Commission is calling for 2 new ridings in Calgary. Those ridings would be Calgary Confluence in the inner city and Calgary Nose Creek in the north end of the city. The commission found Calgary's population growth warrants the new constituencies. It also recommends, for the first time, 4 so-called hybrid ridings in Calgary that include rural areas outside the city. Calgary Glenmore would become Calgary Glenmore Tsuut'ina to include the First Nation, and Calgary West would be expanded to include Elbow Valley. The commission made the recommendations even though it said there was an orchestrated campaign against the hybrid ridings. The UCP caucus says it will review the support before making a comment on it. Former Alberta Premier Jason Kenney will take part in 2 debates on Alberta separatism. Kenney and pro-separatist Keith Wilson will go head-to-head in 2 debates in May, one in Calgary, one in Edmonton. Kenney has been an outspoken critic of Alberta's separatist movement. Wilson is a St. Albert lawyer who is in favor of Alberta separating from the Confederation. A petition on Alberta separation was launched in January. Organizers have until May 2nd to gather nearly 178,000 signatures to push the issue forward. Canada hits its NATO spending target for the first time since the Cold War. Just ahead, how and where we have finally spent 2% of GDP, or $60 billion, on defense. And later, even people who've spent their entire lives inside sporting venues can get a little turned around. Luckily, these Blue Jays were redirected. We'll explain. Canada could play a role in helping ships move freely through the Strait of Hormuz if there is a ceasefire in the Middle East. Prime Minister Carney says there are ongoing conversations with some NATO allies about Canada joining an effort to restore the movement of vessels. Iran blockaded the crucial waterway in retaliation for U.S. and Israeli attacks. Last week, Ottawa expressed a willingness to contribute to reopening the strait. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has extended his deadline for Tehran to open the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. president says he will now wait 10 days until April 6th before destroying Iranian energy plants. Trump insists ceasefire talks are going very well, and the request to extend the date came from the Iranians. For the first time since the Cold War, Canada has hit its target of spending 2% of gross domestic product on defense. The benchmark set by NATO amounts to more than $60 billion a year. As CTV's Judy Trin reports, it's an increase expected to transform our armed forces.
After touring a warship, the Prime Minister announced that Canada had taken aim at a NATO target and hit its mark.
In 10 months, we have invested over $60 billion in our defense and security. And as a result of these efforts, this morning, NATO confirmed that Canada has achieved its 2% defense expenditure target.
Getting from 1% to 2% has taken 12 years. Progress has been slow until Carney's investment surge in 2025. For the first time, all 32 NATO members have reached the 2% target.
For too long, European allies and Canada were over-reliant on U.S. military might.
The 2% pledge was first made in 2014. Conservative Prime Minister Stephen Harper didn't want to do it.
I'm certainly not going to spend on a massive military expansion just for the sake of doing so.
Under former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Canada was called out on the international stage.
Talk about riding on America's coattails. They have the safety and security of being on our border.
Movement didn't happen until the biggest player in the alliance uttered threats.
And I said, if you don't pay your bills, we're not going to participate, we're not going to protect you.
Canada may have spent more than $60 billion on defense in 2025, but the military is still short about 15,000 soldiers, and from jets to ships to submarines, half of the equipment isn't working.
We are still waiting for new submarines. We are still waiting for new tanks and other armored vehicles for our Army. And we are still a long way from having new warships.
The overall readiness, the ability of the military to actually conduct a military operation or go to war is at a multi-generational low point right now.
Going forward, Canada and other NATO members are committing to spending 5% of GDP on defense by 2035. For Canada, that means spending $150 billion annually. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
A Toronto-based nonprofit is really picking up steam coast to coast. We'll show you how Hacker Gal is encouraging more girls and gender-diverse youth to explore science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. There are many programs and clubs for kids interested in STEAM activities. That's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. But a national group called Hacker Gal is focused on closing the gender gap in STEAM-related careers. It's helping more girls and gender-diverse students see their potential in a typically male-dominated field. Kevin Fleming reports.
She's been interested in science since she was in grade 5. Now at 16 years old, Yusra Hashmi leads a club for other girls and gender-diverse students at her school. She's sharing her passion and hopefully inspiring others to get involved in STEAM activities.
Recently, I've discovered something called as bioinformatics, which is basically biology, chemistry, combined with computer science. So I think that's really cool, because I love coding and I also love science.
Hashmi is a Hacker Girl ambassador. The school clubs found across the country create a welcoming space for girls interested in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
I think that other girls, they should look into the tech world, see where they belong.
Hacker Gal says it's important to start in STEAM activities at a young age.
Late primary, early high school is where we start to see folks lose the interest or start to feel like, I'm the only girl in my computer science class. This doesn't feel great.
Erin Westbrook says the ambassador program is run by students for their peers in grades 6 to 12.
The leadership is so critical because then you're thinking of like who's writing policy, who's influencing decision making, who's leading, who's starting up the CEOs. And that's what we'd love to encourage all of our students is to dream big.
Aliza Habib hosts lunchtime meetings at her school.
In the first 20-ish minutes, I just tell them what we're going to do, how we're gonna start this off, and then I just let them code. And then if they need help, they'll call me over, and then I'll help with them.
Habib loves science and doing experiments. She's not sure she wants to pursue a STEAM-related career yet, but knows she can if she wants to.
If you put your mind to anyone, no matter what you are, you can do anything.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
That's awesome. Okay, well, this can happen at any ticketed event. It's probably happened to any one of us who accidentally sit in the wrong seat. Usually, though, it doesn't happen when everybody is watching.
The Blue Jays' Ernie Clement and George Springer thought they had their seats. Apparently not. They got a polite tap on the shoulder, got told to move.
See, it can happen to anyone. You'd think two pro athletes who might have the lay of the land there, but Even these two Blue Jays sat in the wrong spot. They got reseated in time, though, to see the Leafs goal. So that's the most important thing.
Embarrassing.
Now I don't feel so bad. I've done that quite a few times.
Oh,
What
yeah.
if there's just the guys that moved down to better seats and...
Oh, right.
Might have done that, and then they got busted. I don't know.
They're pretending to look shocked.
Yeah. Oh, us? Oops.
Yeah.
Well, every pro sports team has their own warm-up routine. Have you seen this one from the Flames?
What do we make of every stage of the warm-up routine?
It's expanding. Look at these guys having so much fun. And it's fun for us to keep showing it. But look at these guys. The youngsters want in. They start showing them a few more moves.
Even new Calgary Flame Ryan Strome gets in on the action. What is happening here? You've probably seen this
you
happen,
know what?
Glenn.
The Flames playing loose. They've won 4 in a row. This kind of thing is okay.
It might be helping them.
Sure, it brings them closer together.
Yes.
That's fun. Why not?
Have a little fun out there. Have a little fun out there.
That's what brings in the wins.
That's right. Doorbell cameras are super handy. You can even speak to the person who's standing there on your doorstep. That's apparently how this lady loves to use hers.
Donna. There you are. Hi, what's going on? Why don't you just call me? Not when you're standing on my front porch.
Okay, so Donna, who is being called there, got her mom a Ring camera for Christmas, and then she's house sitting, and she realizes, oh, this is how my mom's going to talk to me now. Every time her mom gets a notification that Donna is at the house, she just yells at her through the camera.
Okay,
you can text her. You can text Donna. You know, you don't have to talk through the camera.
My mom is visiting, and I just did that to her today.
Really? She was outside, and you were talking to her through the camera?
Is that going to continue, Danielle?
Sure, why not? It's fun.
Okay, just asking.
Still to come, monitoring inflation fears. The Bank of Canada warns rising oil prices will push up the cost of everything else, too. Our business report is just ahead.
CTV Ski Report, brought to you by Sunshine Village, home of Canada's best snow and hottest lifts.
All right, your Skywatch weather camera. Looking pretty good. Still cold, though. A little deceiving by the looks here. And it will continue to be cold right through tomorrow morning, and then you'll notice a difference by the afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon in the city will be fantastic. -4 is our current temperature, also our daytime high. +7 is what's normal for this time of year, and guess what? That's our expected daytime high for tomorrow. And it comes with a mix of sun and clouds, so nice conditions, reasonable temperatures, a lot warmer than feeling like -10, which is where we're at right now. -11 is what it feels like with that wind chill in Claresholm and Pincher Creek and Medicine Hat Drumheller. Feels more like -10. So there's a bite for sure. But look at this. Things are starting to calm down and clear out. And for tomorrow, it's really just a mix of sun and cloud with mainly sunny skies. So more sunshine than cloud. -16, though, is what it will feel like between 7 and 8 a.m. So a cold start to the day, but then the winds out of the south, gusting around 40 kilometers per hour, should be enough to carry us up to 7 degrees in the afternoon. That's your 24-hour forecast, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fix right or it's free. All right, little look around to many other communities. Kamloops 14 for tomorrow, so toasty there. Edmonton 3 degrees, but just over to Slave Lake -3. Olds, Calgary, Drumheller around that 6-7 mark for tomorrow. High River 9, and we'll likely get into the double digits with, believe it or not excessive wind gusts for tomorrow in Lethbridge and Milk River.
The Alberta government is moving ahead with a new universal code of conduct for municipal councillors. It comes as the municipal affairs minister says an ongoing RCMP investigation affecting Calgary City Hall politicians involves criminal allegations of fraud and corruption. Calgary police are investigating a serious domestic assault in Ogden that left a man with life-threatening injuries. No arrests have been made. And police in the city continue to campaign to improve pedestrian safety. A woman whose husband was hit by a vehicle and killed while he was cycling is pleading for more awareness. Alberta is doing its part to remove interprovincial trade barriers in the face of a strained relationship with the United States. New legislation introduced today aims to make good on an agreement all provinces and territories signed with Ottawa last year. The Interprovincial Trade Mutual Recognition Act will allow provinces to recognize each other's regulations on most goods, avoiding duplicate inspections and other requirements. The agreement does not apply to alcohol, cannabis, food, livestock, tobacco, or plants. The province believes industries like oil and gas, logging, and fertilizer production will benefit the most. Trade Minister Joseph Scow says simplifying the rules will make it easier for businesses to access new markets across Canada.
There are different rules for each of those provinces, and that is so confusing and very difficult to navigate that some businesses will just throw their hands up and say, what's the point? We'll just stick to Alberta, stick to the market we know. This is creating a level playing field across Canada.
Alberta will keep its own rules in place for products including pesticides, plumbing equipment, and gift cards, which cannot expire in our province. The Free Trade Pact starts June 30th. We heard from the Bank of Canada today about the higher price of oil. BNN Bloomberg's Morella Fernandez has more.
The Bank of Canada says that higher oil prices will push up inflation in the near term. Senior Deputy Governor Carolyn Rogers says it is the bank's priority to guard against the higher price of oil inflating the price of other goods and services. She adds that it's too early to assess the impacts of the oil price on Canada's growth, but it can boost income for energy exporters but squeeze consumers. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 72.17. West Texas Intermediate is up over $4 to 94.48. Western Canadian Select, however, is down to 74.33, and the TSX lost almost 500 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Health Canada has issued a recall of milk products that may contain pieces of glass. The recall covers some milk products sold under the Farmers Natrel and K-Balm brands. These are 2-liter cartons on shelves across the country. The list of affected products is on the Canadian Food Inspection Agency website. They should be thrown out or returned to where you bought them. The CFIA says it's investigating and could add more products to this recall. A group of Alberta regional soccer associations is not giving up a court battle to get the former president of Alberta Soccer reinstated. In November, J.R. Figueiredo was suspended for 5 years for workplace harassment. A third-party investigation concluded he made verbal threats about an employee and created a hostile work environment. 4 soccer groups, including the Calgary Women's Soccer Association, want the suspension lifted, arguing the provincial body didn't follow its own bylaws when suspending Figueiredo. They lost a court bid to overturn the suspension, but now they have filed an appeal set for May 15th. An Alberta soccer memo obtained by CTV News states the appeal will be vigorously opposed. The Anaheim Ducks are at the Saddle Dome tonight. For Ryan Strome, it's his first time facing his former teammates. Glenn has that for us next. If you need a free tree, ask the city. The Branching Out program gave out 5,000 trees last year and will double that amount this year. The city wants to grow the tree canopy from 9 to 16%. You can choose deciduous trees like oak, maple, aspen, birch, crabapple, and lilac. Conifers include larch and pine. We have details on how to register for a tree on our website. The Calgary Flames are on their longest winning streak of the season. Glenn is back with us. Well, they're not going to be in the postseason, but they're playing some great hockey.
Tara, the Flames are in a rebuild or whatever you want to call it, but somehow they've managed to scratch together 4 straight wins, and they'll look to make it 5 in a row tonight against the Anaheim Ducks. Ryan Strome admits it'll be a little weird when he steps onto the ice on Thursday night and faces his former team, the Anaheim Ducks. Strome joined the Flames at the trade deadline a few weeks back.
I'm excited, for sure. I think we've got a good thing going in here, and they're a great team, so it'll be fun for me, and maybe try to get after a few of the boys over there a little bit and get under their skin. But no, it'll be fun, and obviously every time you play a former team, it's kind of circled, so it'll be fun time for sure.
Strome didn't see much playing time with the Ducks this season, and the Flames picked him up for a 7th-round draft pick in 2027. Strome's played well since being acquired. He has 2 goals and 5 assists in 10 games. So does he feel he has anything to prove?
Yes and no. I obviously think you play with a chip on your shoulder and all that stuff, but at the same time, I have nothing but great memories and positive time there. So, Yeah, you always try to bring your best effort and everything like that, but the chips fall where they may, and play hard, and just kind of keep doing what we're doing in here.
Strome was a first-round draft pick of the New York Islanders back in 2011. Now 32 years old, he's learned a lot over the years. He's happy with the way things have gone with the Flames so far, but knows he can't be complacent.
This is a tough league. You got to bring it every day. I think that's what I've learned over my time, is that the ebbs and flows, or highs and lows, are very tough to handle, and the more even keel you are every day and bring that same approach is just what's going to make you successful.
Strome has gone from one rebuild to another. He saw the Ducks go through their struggles, but now they're in first place in the Pacific. He played a role in that turnaround, and it's something he's proud of.
We went through some tough times there the last few years, and to kind of see them pull out of it is good. That's what you hope to see in a rebuild. And for me, it's obviously nice to see some of the young guys that you try to make an impact on the last few years, and see them doing well is obviously feels good.
Flames and Ducks, that game gets underway in just a few minutes' time at the Scotiabank Saddledome. Calgary Canucks had a chance to even their series with the Canmore Eagles last night, and a fast start helped them do just that. We got up in the third period, Canucks up 6-3 when they almost add the lead. Connor Radke with the puck. He is stopped, and then he almost tucks in the rebound, but Hudson Cito able to make the save to keep it a 6-3 game. Give the Eagles credit. They wouldn't give up on this game. They're on the power play here. Will Ludick spots the loose puck, buries it past Noah Nelson. That cuts the lead to 6-4. And then just a few minutes after that, the Eagles would make it a one-goal game. Great effort here by Aiden Tkachuk. Fires it past Nelson. All of a sudden, we've got ourselves a one-goal game. Less than a minute left in the game. Eagles with the extra attacker, but it backfires on him. The Eagles turn it over. Grant Reed to Nicholas Anisimowicz, and he will fire it into the empty net like that. Seals the game. Canucks beat the Eagles 7-5. Best of 7 series now tied 2 games apiece. Game 5 tomorrow night in Canmore. The two teams come back to Calgary for Game 6 on Tuesday.
Thank you, Glenn. Final peek at the forecast. Final minute goes to Danielle.
I think you're really going to like tomorrow afternoon, especially because it doesn't involve shoveling or driving through terrible road conditions and snowfall and blizzards. 7 degrees is our high. Now, it's going to be cold to start, so you'll still need the toque and the gloves and the coat for the morning hours, because it will feel more like -16 by 7 and 8 in the morning. All right, so nice day tomorrow afternoon. Saturday, the clouds will increase, flurries by Saturday night, and then our next round of snow is for Sunday, 3 to 6 centimeters, and you can see temperatures cooling once again for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So it's basically like a one afternoon warm-up for you. Weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. And Barney sent this one in, and how stunning is this from Fish Creek Park?
Beautiful
All the
shot.
beautiful snow. Nice to look at, right?
Hey, that Canucks game is Sunday. I'm sorry, Sunday it is.
Sunday. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Glenn. Thanks for your company tonight. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.